Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back. I've finished the iron smelting area, at least the first version of it. So we set up a receiving station for ore down here using the bulk rail loaders. So I've got 8 of those coming in. I'm running those into an 8x8 balancer, and then 1 belt each is going to these columns of furnaces. There are 22 furnaces in each column. And there are 22 because when we start using modules and speed beacons, 22 will completely saturate a blue belt. And on the outputs, I have it set up so that one inserter will go on the far side of the belt and one inserter will go on the near side of the belt. That way we'll have a balanced belt coming out. If you're not using adjustable inserters, the other thing that you could do is just go down 11. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. And then if you put inserters on the sides, for example, then you could do something like this, where this is your belt and then you bring it in and do that. So that way, even though they're all inserting on the far side, you can take the first half and then load it onto the near side, and you'll get a full belt that way too. But since we're using adjustable inserters, I'm going to do it the more easy way. And then I decided to expand this to 8, just since I have 8 belts coming in. I figured I might as well just set it up so that we have 8 belts of iron being consumed, each one individually, and then there's 8 coming out. Those also go into a balancer. And to be honest, I'm not sure that this balancer is really necessary, because if we are bringing in, if we're balancing the ore going into each line, then the outputs should be balanced automatically. Because how would they get unbalanced, right? If each one is getting the same amount of material, then the same amount of material should be coming out. So maybe this might not really be necessary, but, well, I already did it, so we'll leave it there. And then I've already run this a bit. Let me put the request for ore back in. So I've got iron ore, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this for a target of 32,000. So that's 2 trains worth. And then I have the request threshold set to 16,000. Okay, so it won't ask for more ore until it needs a full train's worth. And I should have something where we can see how much is here. So let's do that. So we can connect the red wire there and have this give me a reading on iron ore. That way we'll be able to see from afar how much ore we have. Okay, so here comes the ore train. Because it can only enter from one side, it has to go around. All right, and then it unloads. And we get almost 16,000, but you can see how quickly it depletes. And then it immediately issues another request, so the train goes out again. Whoops. So let's go ahead and follow this through to the other side. So we see all the furnaces start working. They're making that cool noise that electric furnaces do. No smoke. It's nice and clean. Really cool. Okay, and then the plate goes through this 8-to-8 balancer. And then I did something a little different with the loading stations. So what I'm doing here is each of these belts I am splitting into 4. So I'm going into a red splitter, and then splitting that into 2 yellow splitters, since 1 red is equal to 2 yellow. And then those are going into the yellow mini loaders into chests. And then on the output of each chest, I have a pair of mini loaders so that we can use the mini loaders to go from chest to the rail car. Now, I haven't tested this yet. And I'm actually going to need, I should get some more Nixie tubes on that too. I need some iron plate. Hey, nice. More achievements. Yeah, so let me go grab some iron plate so that we can finish setting that up. And then what I want to do in this episode is finish getting the output station set up, and then also configure the uranium processing station to receive iron plate. Now that station I already set up to accept a 242 car of iron plate, and I don't remember now why I did that, but obviously I'm going to need more. I'm going to need to reconfigure it for a 282, since that's what I'm going to be using for plates. So we'll have to make some changes there. All right, I might have some Nixie tubes in inventory, so let me just go ahead and request as many as we've got. I'm sure it's less than 50. And then I'll grab some iron plate here. And I'll go ahead and craft 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then we'll go back to smelting. I think those were the Nixie tubes. Oh well. We'll catch up next time. And then the other thing that I did is I added another grid over here, which encapsulates this iron patch. This one's got 26 million. I called it Iron 1, and at the current rate of consumption, it'll last us 120 hours. So we'll be getting iron from Iron 1 for quite a long time, thanks to the high richness settings I put into the game when I created the map. I'm not sure if I don't think I showed you this in the last episode. But, you know, again, it's pretty simple. I have 7 belts coming out. So I just sent those into a 8-to-8 balancer. You can see that one of the inputs is unused, but that's okay. I mean, we're not even getting full belts going in anyway, just because the patch is fairly small, even though it's very dense. Okay, and then those each split into the bulk rail loader cars. So this mine by itself is not enough to keep this thing running nonstop, because it doesn't get 16,000 before this one starts to run low. Oh, actually, maybe we're doing okay. Yeah, we did get above 16,000, at least for a little while. Let's look at the setup there. All right. Yeah, so here I set this to have a provide threshold of 16,000, right? So a train won't be able to pick anything up until it has at least one train's load worth of material available. I just decided that for ores, I only want to deal in full trains. I don't want to have partially full trains running around. There's not much point to that. And it'll reduce traffic. All right, so provide threshold of 16,000. So once this is 16,000, and this one's already below 16,000. So as soon as this hits 16,000 quantities, then LTN should create the schedule for the train. So we can watch that happen here in just a moment or two. There it goes. All right, so then it'll send the train to go pick up and take it over here to the smelting area. And by the time it gets here, this will be close to empty. Now, this is my first version of a smelting area, but I can already see that I'm probably going to want to change the design. And the reason for that is this is going to consume, right, with full modules, one of these smelting columns will consume 2,000 ore per minute. And I have 8 of them, which means I'm going to be consuming 16,000 a minute, which is essentially 1 train per minute of ore coming in. And I don't think I want that much traffic on one station. I don't think the system's going to be able to keep up. Now, obviously, I mean, to have 8 columns running, no matter how they're configured, I'm going to need an average of 1 train a minute coming in. But I think this would be better if I configure it to have multiple trains coming in and multiple trains going out. So I'm going to leave this running for now, but when we set up copper smelting, which I'll probably do right here next to it, I'm going to set that up. I'm going to try to set that up in a different way so that we can handle, I think even 4 trains coming in would be nice. That way each station would only need a train once every 4 minutes. I'll have to see how I can arrange things to get it all to fit, but and then I'd like to do the same on the output, have 2 or maybe 4 trains picking up plates. In fact, theoretically we need more trains picking up plates than we need bringing in ore, because with the productivity modules, we're going to get 24 or 44 plates per minute from 2,037 ore per minute. So we're going to be getting that 20% productivity boost from the furnaces with the productivity modules. So theoretically, we'll need more trains. We'll need 20% more trains coming out as coming in. So maybe if we could do like 4 ore trains and maybe 5 plate trains. And again, I don't know if it'll all fit in here. So the other option could be to have the smelting here and then have the train stations in the grid next to it, and then just jump over the tracks with belts. We could do that too. So I think I'll work on setting that up, on coming up with that design when I set up the copper smelting, and then when that's done, we can come back and rebuild the iron. Okay, so I need to set up the output station. Now on the plates, I would like to have control over how much gets loaded into the train. So I need to set that up. So I've already got this set up with 1 train, minimum length of 12, just like we do for the other ones. I don't have the inventory hooked up to it yet. I'll do that once everything else is ready. But what I want to do is set this up so that we can control how much goes out. And then we should also put in our inventory monitor here. And we want this to read iron plates. Okay, so you can see we've got quite a lot of plates. Yeah, and I'll just let these chests fill up. I think by the time all these chests filled up, it'll be about 1 full train's worth, it looks like. Just want to make sure these are all connected. Yeah, they're about 4,000. Well, these will each hold 40. Each chest will hold 4,800. And I've got 32 of them. So that's like, how many is that? 4,800 times 32 equals, okay, 153,000. That doesn't sound right. Steel chest has 48 slots, 100 each. That's 4,800. I've got 8 times 4, which is 32. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, but these chests are all almost full, and I only have 3,500. Oh, I need another digit. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so we've got quite a lot of iron plates already. And eventually these will fill up, and then it'll back up, and we'll stop bringing in ore. Okay, so to set this up for controlling how much we put in, we need to control the loaders that add stuff to the train, right? So we need to invert, we need to invert our signal. Okay, so let me wire all these up. All the loaders, I should say. Whoops. And I'm only using yellow loaders here because I only have yellow loaders going in. Now in the end game, you know, you might be asking, why don't I just put 6? Well, a fully bonused stack inserter, you know, if you were to do 6 stack inserters on a train, each one of those with the full upgrades on stack size can move about 27 items a minute, which is about the equivalent of a red belt each. All right, so let's go 27 per second. So let's go 27 times 6. So that's 162 per second that can move into a train using 6 inserters. Well, eventually we'll upgrade all these to blue mini loaders. Express mini loaders is what they're called. And those can move 40 per second each, right? That's the speed of a blue belt, 40 per second. So 4 of those will be roughly equivalent to 6 inserters, stack inserters. And it's much easier to balance to 4 chests than it is to balance to 6 chests. So that's why I'm doing it this way. But like I said, eventually we'll upgrade all these to blue. But for now, since I only have yellow going in, yellow coming out will be enough. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to have to get a signal. We're going to have to get a signal from the station that says how much is in the train, and a signal from this box here that says how much we want in the train. So if the signal, so we want the signal of what's in the train to be negative. So that way we'll have a positive number until the train has the correct amount, and that'll turn on the loaders. Okay, so we'll put connect to the station, and that goes on the input there. And we're going to tell this to read train contents. Okay, so this is what we actually have in there. And then from here, we'll get what it wants. And when we add that to the negative number, it'll stay positive until what we want is loaded into the train. Okay, and I can see that I probably should have done this with green wires because I don't want to mix. So let me disconnect this here real quick, and we'll do it again with green. Okay, that one's negative. This one goes on the output. Okay, so that negative number and this one will sum together on the output. Retrain contents, that has no controls. Okay, and then I can take a green wire and I can run it on these same poles without mixing signals. And that means that all these have to be changed as well to green. Okay, well, I think it'll be easier if I just use a bot to pick these up. All right, so I keep getting this no station supplying iron ore just because there's not enough. Yep, we have to wait for it to build up. Okay, so now I need to do this again. All right, and then I'll connect these with green. Like that, and then I should be able to blueprint this. And hopefully not have to, yeah, and it'll do the wires for me automatically, because that's kind of tedious to connect all those wires. There we go. Awesome. Okay, where were we? Green wire from here to there. Okay, and now we're going to set this to enable when iron plate is greater than 0. Okay, so those will turn on when there's less in the train than what the train wants. Okay, and there's no signal now. Now this one is not connected to anything yet, so this will have to be put onto the network, and then the network will start to show that we have iron available. But before we do that, I want to turn, okay, yeah, so I've already taken out the iron from here, and I started to create a new station to load it, but I haven't finished it yet. So we'll go do that next. All right, so we can go ahead and hook that up. And we can also connect the inventory signal. Okay, so this should be done. Yeah, and I named it iron plates. Okay, so let's head up to uranium processing and get that taken care of. And then we'll be able to bring in plates, and then we'll be able to start making fuel cells automatically. Okay, still doing good on power. Let's see how our reactor is making out. Looks like it's getting ready to drop in some more fuel. And our coal-fired, ooh, we're getting low. We're getting low on ore in the main base, at least on iron and stone. Still have a lot of copper. How's our coal patch doing? All right, slowly working its way down. Okay, yeah, so I removed the request from iron plates for iron plates here, and I'm going to put it up here instead. Now in this case, I think we don't need a lot of it, so I'm just going to put a single chest. So that's 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll put a single chest, and let's just limit these to 1,000 each. No, actually I won't limit it, but our target will be to have 8,000. Oops. Which is like 25% of a train. Okay, and these actually we don't need any controls on. We do need to connect the chests together so we can read our inventory. Okay, and that inventory signal has not been connected to the station yet. So let's go ahead and do that. And then let's set the request threshold. I'll set the request threshold to 7,000. Okay, so that way we won't ask for more iron until we get down to 1,000. And we'll set that to minus 8,000. Okay, so we should now be getting our first delivery of iron plate from our brand new shiny smelting area. Let's make sure everything works properly, particularly the loaders loading the correct quantity of stuff. There it goes. Okay, it loads not super fast, but again, once those are all upgraded to blue, it'll load pretty quick, and hopefully it will stop when it hits 8,000. It's not stopping. Oh, okay. Now it's stopped. No, it's not stopping. Why? Ah, I know why. Because I used a decider combinator. All right, and now I'm gonna have. Okay, I'll be able to completely unload the train. Fortunately, I'm just gonna have too much stuff here. Okay, yeah, I screwed that up. That should have been an arithmetic combinator, not a decider combinator. All right, let's read iron plate there. Okay, well, here comes the train. It's got 32,000 plates in it. So we won't need any iron plate here for quite a long time. And actually, I'm going to put this in manual mode now because it's probably going to take longer than 120 seconds to unload. Okay, yeah, that doesn't work. Yeah, it might take longer than 120 seconds to unload, and I don't want this train going back to the depot with stuff still in it. Okay, so let's go back and fix that loading station. Okay, so there's our 8,000, and that'll climb all the way up to 32. And then when it's done, I'll send it back to the depot. Okay. Can I do that? No. Oh my God. No, no, no. Where the hell are you going? Oh. I've got it. Now I have another bloody train. I'm going to have to empty this thing out. But first, please stop. 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 Here's a little trick. You can disable a belt just by marking it for deconstruction. Now the question is, why the hell did I get another train come here? When I obviously have way more than I need over here. Okay. That's interesting. I think it's trying to go around this train. Okay, so now what I have to do is get all this out. So I'm going to... okay, this is going to take a couple of minutes here. Alright, so let's grab all the plate and then even distribution. And as I feared, I don't have enough bloody storage to get it all in there. Okay, so those are all full, and I still have several thousand plates to go. So I have an idea of what we can do, at least to temporarily get us out of this silly situation. I'll put some chests here, and then I'll just have loaders in and out. Okay. And I'm going to need 16 red loaders. I don't know if I have enough to make those. Yeah, I do. 5, 10, 15, 16. Okay. And we can reconnect all this. Okay. And these have to be powered. I'm going to need to use substations. Okay. Now, if I limit these to 1 stack each, then that should prevent any more. I don't necessarily want these to fill up. But yeah, that'll prevent any more than 1 stack from going in there. If I set it to 0, then it won't pass anything through because it won't allow even 1 to enter, and then it'll essentially stop it. But if I limit it to 1 stack, then I can pretty easily come over here and remove that in a little bit once that excess inventory gets used up. Okay, so you, my friend, are going back to the depot. Get out of here and don't come back. Okay, let's fix this now. Each times -1, output as each. We want what the train has to be negative. And we want what the train wants to be positive. Right? train contents. Okay. All right, so I think we're okay on this end now. Let's go back up to uranium and make sure that we don't have something screwed up there. I'm not sure. I'm really puzzled as to why it scheduled another delivery when that train was already there. Maybe it's because I switched it into manual mode. Maybe the system forgot that there was a train already sent there. I suppose that could happen. Okay, so now I have 8 gajillion. Yeah, see, and this is still yellow. I want 8,000. Request threshold. Let's just set the request threshold to 8,000. I don't mind if it gets to 0. And how do I reset this? You go back to the depot. I suppose I could just pick up the station, plop it back down again. All right, so let's connect the inventory first so it knows what it's got. And then we'll connect the signal, and there should be no delivery scheduled. I feel like I didn't hook that up to the right thing. Let me try that again. There we go. Okay, so far so good. Here's the other thing I need to do. This can read, the system now reads that this station has 32,000 iron plates. So what if someplace else requests iron? It might send a train here to pick up iron because it sees that I have a big positive value of iron plate. So, so we want to set this up so that this station only receives iron and never provides it. Because I'm not set up to load iron in, I'm only set up to take iron out. So what we need to do in that case is we can set a provide threshold, and we can set that to a very high number. Let's say 9 million. I'll just do 7 nines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, which is like 10 million. All right, so this will only act as a provider if I have more than 10 million iron plates here, which I'm never going to have. But this is what you can do on receiving stations or requester stations to make sure that it doesn't act as a provider for whatever it's pulling in. And I should do that down here as well. Let's see if, okay, well that's not, none of that's going to flow. All right, so this should stop requesting since it's got more than 16,000. Yeah, so let me go, I need to go set a provide threshold on that receiving station, and I need to do the same, here, because this is never going to be a provider of uranium. Okay, so I need to do that on all of the requester stations. I forgot to do that before. So that way trains won't go to your requester stations to pick up what they've already received. I'll have to do that here too for the sulfuric acid. Okay, so I'm glad I cut that early before I have a gazillion stations out there. Because that'll take me a little while to fix, but I will do that off camera. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.